Gifts are a wonderful thing, aren't they? I mean, really, they bring joy. They bring wonder. They communicate love, right? And I will say this. I am a horrible gift giver. I've never been good at it. It brings me anxiety to really shop and I want to get that perfect gift, especially for my wife, only to have it returned or exchanged numerous times because she really didn't like it, right? Even on the 5 love languages, I score a 0 in gifts. I mean, one year, though, in particular, it was our anniversary. And my wife was telling me, because our parents always bought us gifts for our anniversaries, right? And this was early on. And so my wife told me, hey, if your parents ask what to get me for our anniversary, I want a crock pot. There's this perfect crock pot. It's got these purple grapes and stuff. Oh, I want this crock pot. Tell your mom. Okay, I will. And she told me that numerous times. If she's like, if my mom asks, tell her I want the crock pot. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I thought to myself, here's my chance. I'm not going to tell them, right? I want to be the one that brings the great gift that my wife so cherishes and wants. And so it's our anniversary. She opens the gift and she looks at me and she goes, it's a crock pot. And I'm like, yeah, it's that crock pot you wanted. I got it for you. And she's like, well, I didn't want the crock pot from you. I wanted something. And then I realized too, anniversaries, you don't buy vacuum cleaners, you don't buy crock pots, you buy gifts of love, right? So I learned a lesson there. And I am, like I said, horrible at gift giving. But really, aren't we all kind of flawed when it comes to giving gifts? When you think about it, right? Because a gift, really what it means is, Christmas gifts are supposed to be for a gift to someone with no expectation of reciprocation, no expectation of getting anything in return. But I'll tell you what, come Christmas, come your anniversary, come Valentine's Day, come birthdays, right? And your spouse or somebody gives you a gift and says, this is for you. And you go, great, I really appreciate it. And I got you absolutely nothing. There would be hurt feelings, right? Because we do give gifts, right? But we do kind of give them with strings attached. They're not perfect in that sense. They're not good in that sense. Because we do have an expectation of receiving something in return. God is not that way. And it says right here in James 1:17. It says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like the shifting shadows. There's only one true gift giver. There's only one true good and perfect gift giver, and that is God. He gives with no expectation. He gives because he loves. He gives because he cares. And I love the part that says he does not change, which means he will always be that perfect gift giver. And we can look at John 3:16 to see what that ultimate gift was. And that ultimate gift says, for God so loved the world. And that was the gift of love, that he gave his only son. Could you imagine giving away your only child to save someone else? That whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. He gave his son as an act of love, as a gift to us. And in Romans 8:32, he pointed out, he said, he who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, basically wouldn't you generally expect him to be gracious in everything? If he's not gonna hold back his only son, why would he hold back anything else? If he was that generous, that gracious, don't you think he would be that way in all things, in all times, and never changing? He gave us life. He gave us life in the garden, and we blew it, which brought on death. And then he went to the cross. He went to the cross to give us life again. I remember when my parents would give me toys when I was a little kid, and it would be a great toy and something I loved, right? And ultimately it got broken or it got lost. Oftentimes my parents would replace that broken gift with a bright new shiny toy. And And usually it was like the new and improved version. And that is exactly what God did for us. We broke it. We broke that relationship with him. We broke that stream of life that was going to bring death. And he conquered death and gave us eternal life. A bright, shiny, new toy, right? For our broken toy. In Hebrews 12:2, says if we look at Jesus, he is the founder, he is the perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. With the joy that was set before him endured the cross. Is that love? When we picture Jesus going to the cross, what is the first thing? I know for me, I think about like the Garden of the Gethsemane, where he's pleading with God to take this from him. He's sweating blood, right? And I look at the anguish that went on in that garden. And I don't attribute it to joy, right? But it says with joy. And I think the joy that he had, the joy was knowing what the cross was going to accomplish. Like a pregnant woman looking forward to going into labor. Who in their right mind is going to look forward and be excited? I can't wait to have this baby. I can't wait to go into labor and be in horrible pain. And if you've ever been in a room with a woman in labor, it's not a fun or pretty sight. But when that pain brings forth life, there's a peace, there's a joy, there's a satisfaction, and all of that is forgotten. And that's what I think about when I think of Jesus joyfully going to the cross. Gifts are a wonderful thing. And they're usually free gifts, meaning there is no expectation of reciprocation. But I will say this too, they're not free totally, right? Because whoever gives that gift has paid a great price. God paid a great price, giving up his son. Christ gave paid a huge price by going to the cross. So although when we think about it, gifts are free, there's great cost for someone involved. So I just want you to remember this Christmas, as we celebrate the birth of Christ who came into this world as a gift to us, to redeem us. Remember this, that he came to pay a debt he did not owe because we owed a debt we could not pay. And he gave us freedom. Celebrate that this Christmas.